Hello YouTube, this is Logan Film Studios with LEGO Transformers G1 Jazz. So here's Jazz in his car mode, and for a figure that I created probably 5+ years ago, I still think this vehicle mode holds up pretty well. It is able to roll, as all rolling things should, and it's generally modeled after the race car that he becomes in the show. One cool feature is it has these rear view mirrors on the sides kind of popping up. I'm not sure if the actual car has that, but that's just a side effect of how this was built, where it sort of looks like that. It does have opening doors, once again, just from a product of how it transforms. It does have the blue stripe, and that's partially accomplished by this piece on the top, which comes from a police car set and has this blue sticker with the blue stripe on it. But because of this, I wasn't able to include the red stripe that goes down the middle. So that's definitely something I'll be including on my next version, which I am working on and will be coming out soon, hopefully. Here's what the car looks like from the bottom. Pretty standard fare for Jazz. You can see the upper legs here just pretty obviously. In the front, it has the red stripe on the bottom and the headlights in the front, although in the actual car, they're supposed to be kind of further apart from each other, but I sort of wanted to emphasize the rounded nature of the front, and that's why I chose to put them closer together here. In the back, he has a spoiler where you can pretty much see the robot hands, but a cool detail I added is these tail lights in red here. For size comparisons, here's Jazz next to Bumblebee, and here he is next to a minifigure. So that's pretty much it for Jazz's car mode. Let's get on to the transformation. So here's G1 Jazz in his robot mode. As you can see, it goes for more of the toy look with the door wings here, which aren't present on the G1 cartoon. He does have kind of a decent sized backpack, but he is meant to have this section of the car on his back, as it is there in the cartoon. He doesn't really have these blue stripes in the back though, so I guess those could be considered kibble. And these heel spurs here really help to keep him standing with all this stuff on the back. I really like how you can't really see the wheels from the front angle, but they're still not quite hidden as they are in the show. Jazz's head is made from the 1x1 Technic brick with minifigure hands inside, and they're actually connected with a flex tube in there, which is kind of an illegal technique because it forces the minifigure hands a little bit too tightly, which makes it a little bit harder to transform, as you saw earlier. This design is missing a few of the details from the cartoon, such as the blue sections on the waist and, once again, the red stripe, but I think overall it does an okay job at communicating the character. For articulation, Jazz can turn his head side to side and move it back and not really forward. He has ball joints on the shoulders here, which allows them to kind of go out and kind of butterfly forward just a tad and also rotate forward. He has also a maxi-fig hand ball joint here, which allows it to rotate and go forward as kind of an elbow here. But it can also rotate all the way out this way on the transformation joint. There's also, because of the transformation, a hinge here, which can be used as sort of a secondary elbow, but it's kind of awkward using this, so I like to keep it just mostly straight. And finally, for the arm, the hand can do this rotation side to side, but again, that's not really something I tend to use. The waist has a T-joint in here, so it's able to crunch forward and arc back if you move the kibble out of the way here. And it can rotate side to side. There's a universal clip joint for the hips that allow him to go in and out and forward and back. And a clip joint here for the knee, which allows for a 90-degree bend. There isn't really any foot movement, but the heel spur can sort of go down like this, which might help in some poses. For accessories, I wanted to convey Jazz's personality by making his speakers here, which plug into his legs, which is something that happens in the G1 cartoon. So you can see him blasting his music like this. But for a more standard fight, I have also built his laser cannon, which can be plugged into his hand. And that works pretty well in a fight as well. For size comparisons, here's Jazz next to Bumblebee, and here he is next to a minifigure. That's pretty much it for G1 Jazz, and I'll see you guys next time with my next LEGO Transformer.